and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. I'm Priscilla. I'm the owner of A Life Full of Simplicity. Today I'll be going over my May reflections. This is the video where I talk about the decks I used in the month of May. So readings that I've done and things like that in relation to my own practice. Any new decks that came into my collection in May. Any books that I've read, any new books that have come into my collection, as well as some of my favorite YouTube videos that I have watched and that I have enjoyed and would like to share with you all. So let's get started. So the first pairing that I'm going to be talking about is going to be my Seasons of the Witch Beltane Oracle. This is by Lorian Anderson, Juliet Diaz, Giada Rose, and published by Rockpool Publishing. And then my tarot deck for the month was the Botanica Tarot. This is by Kevin J. Stanton and published by Beehive Books. Now, this pairing specifically, I used the first 2 weeks of May. Yep, I only used it in the first 2 weeks in regards to my daily pulls. So this is the tarot. And then we have the oracle here. Now, obviously, it was Beltane in the beginning of the month. It was one of the reasons why I use this particular pairing. But they also go so well together, honestly. So let's set this up. So the Botanica deck is a plant deck, and I absolutely love it. And then, Beltane is, really about fertility. It's about growth. It's about, the aspects of love and lust and things like that. So one of the reasons why I thought these would go good together is because there's a lot of black space around the plants and whatnot, flowers that are in the particular deck, and then there's a lot going on in the oracle. So I really wanted, that pairs beautifully together, I really wanted to have something where the oracle was more the focus for this particular pairing. Now, in the first week from May 2nd to May 8th, for my daily pulls, really what I did was I focused on doing, Lisa's energy obstacle, energy obstacle advice spread. I believe she has a reading the tarot video on that, so I'll definitely pop that into the description if you would like to check it out. And that's what I did for the entire week from Monday to Friday. Then on the weekends, I have been deciding that I would only pull a focus and a shadow card from the oracle deck. So the weekend was strictly oracle focused and nothing else. So for the energy and the obstacle, I typically pulled a tarot card for each of those. And then for the advice, I pulled an oracle. So that's what I did, for Monday to Friday. I did that. I pulled, that's how I pulled 2 tarot and 1 oracle. Then the following week, from May 9th to 15th, I actually kept with the energy obstacle advice for the entire week from Monday to Friday. And again, the weekend was solely focused on the oracle. So I only pulled 2 oracle cards for the weekend each day. Oh, this pairing is absolutely beautiful. And I definitely got some great readings with that particular spread. I definitely enjoyed it very much in terms of doing like the energy, the obstacle, in the advice, which is pretty much like, what is the energy around me right now? What is the obstacle I need to look at right now? And what advice do the cards have for me right now? So those were the questions that I posed for those two particular weeks that I used these two decks for my daily pulls. So this was in regards to my daily practice. Then when it came to spreads, I used my Botanica Tarot for the Taurus season spread. This was a spread by AP_astrology on Instagram. And it's a 3-card spread where the first question is, what message does Taurus season have for me from the start? And I pulled the 7 of Cups for that particular question. Then the next question was, what is one outcome I may see from the eclipse this season? And I pulled the Tower card. And then for the last position, what sort of resolution may I find as Taurus season comes to a close? I got the 5 of Pentacles. Now, my overall interpretation of this is really just me having to focus on changes and things like that, and to grow through any obstacles that come my way, which I definitely feel like I did during Taurus season. So I definitely feel like this was definitely relatable in the regard to Taurus season itself. Now, when it comes to this particular deck, this was the only reading that I did with this particular tarot deck for this month. I didn't use it in any other way except for daily pulls. So this was really focused on my daily practice. Then for actual readings, I actually use this for my May reading and my Gemini season tarot spread. So for my May reading, I actually used the Maypole spread that's actually in the guidebook of the Seasons of the Witch Beltane Oracle, but I modified it to represent a monthly spread. So the first question, I modified it into, what lesson will you learn this month? And I got the Cow card. Then for the second question or second position, it was, what is preventing you from moving forward? And I got Inner Power. Then the next question was, what do you need to do to have a more positive perspective? And I got Milk and Butter. Ooh, can't even see that. There we go. So Milk and Butter. Okay, you can see the title at least. That's good enough. And then for the last position, what do you need to be grateful for this month? I got the Stone Circle card. Now, this was definitely a good reading. I definitely enjoyed it. Now, the second position, what is preventing you from moving forward? And I got Inner Power. I actually took this to mean that it's me. It's me that's preventing me from moving forward. So it's myself, is what I got from this particular card. And that the fact that I'm my own worst enemy and that I am the one who's holding myself back. And I need to stop doing that, pretty much, is what I get from this particular reading. I'm definitely going to be using this modified spread again for June, because I definitely enjoyed the reading and it wasn't too many cards, which I like. So I'm definitely going to use this particular spread again. Then the other spread that I did with this particular deck, the Seasons of the Witch Beltane Oracle, I did a Gemini season spread. Again, this was by AP_astrology, who is an Instagrammer. He's an astrologer, and he has an Instagram account. Definitely check him out. He has some great spreads and great content. So I'll actually leave him linked down below so you can check him out. So the first question was, what story is Gemini season going to tell for me? And I pulled the manifestation card. The second question was, what will I find at the pinnacle or climax of this story? And I pulled the B card. And then lastly, what resolution can I create for this story? And I pulled the ribbon card. So definitely a great read in terms of Gemini season. We just entered Gemini season not too long ago, so definitely a great reading. I would say really it's about shifting my priorities and making sure that I'm open to different possibilities, opportunities that may come my way, and really focusing on my goals is really what I got from this, which is definitely relatable, since those are the things that I definitely want to be focusing on, especially with some of the stuff that I'm working on currently. Those are going definitely towards my goals. Then the last two decks that I worked with for the rest of the month of May were the Hush Tarot and the Woodland Wardens. So the Woodland Wardens is by Jessica Rue. This is published by Andrews McMeel Publishing. And then the Hush Tarot by Jeremy Hush. And this is published by US Games. So I absolutely love this pairing together. The Hush Tarot is definitely more of a what I consider a darker deck, in my opinion. It has some creepy imagery, but I definitely love it. And I definitely loved this particular combination together. So this was the combination that I used for my dailies from May 16th all the way to the 29th. So when May 16 to the 22nd rolled around, I was like, you know what? I'm going to switch it up and do a different type of reading. So I did a focus, embrace, let go for the last 2 weeks of May is that's the type of reading that I did. And then again, on the weekend, I still only did a focus and a shadow card, and that was strictly with the Oracle. So the tarot I used from Monday to Friday with the Oracle, and then Saturday and Sunday were reserved to just the Oracle. So yeah, I absolutely love this pairing together. Very insightful, very deep. I find this particular deck is very, very deep. So the way I did my reading was that I pulled an oracle card for the focus, and then I pulled a tarot for the embrace and a tarot for the let go. And that's what I did for the last 2 weeks of May. I enjoyed the readings that I received. They were very in tune with everything that was going on during the last 2 weeks of May. There was a lot of chaos, so I pulled the Tower card quite a number of times. A lot of chaos going on. So yes, but I definitely enjoyed the readings. I love this deck so much, and I enjoyed it, working with it so much for this particular month. I'm definitely going to pick this up again in the fall. I think these two decks would be lovely to work with in like September, so I think I'm going to do that again. So in regards to my dailies, I did track again some of the cards that came up for me over and over again. So these are cards that repeated for me a lot. So for my oracle, the only card that I kept repeating was the aspect of healing. So I got that twice within this deck, and then once within the Seasons of Witch Beltane Oracle, which was actually called Sacred Waters, but the keyword for it was healing. So I thought that was definitely interesting. That came up 3 times for me. In regards to the majors, Death, Tower, and Chariot were definitely the cards that came up the most. From May 2nd to the 8th, I had literally a major card each day. So from Monday to Friday, I either pulled one major or two majors that week. Then something that was really funny, May 6th, I pulled the Lover's card from the tarot. And then from the Seasons of the Witch Beltane Oracle, they also have a Lover's card, and I pulled it as well. So I pulled Lovers and Lovers. So I thought that was really funny and wanted to make note of it. No repeating wands. I did get a few wands, but nothing repeating, which was interesting. And then for the cups, I had the Queen of Cups and the Five of Cups come up for me twice each. From the 23rd to the 29th, I actually got a lot of cups this particular week. For swords, only one card came up for me repeating, and that was the Nine of Swords. And then the Pentacles, I had the King of Pentacles twice and the Two of Pentacles 4 times. This card came up for me 4 times. I think once each, no. I think the last week it was like twice, and then once 2 other weeks before that. So yeah, that was a very interesting. So this was my monthly tracker for repeating cards, which I wanted to share with you. So when it came to the readings that I did, I only did one reading with the Hush Tarot, and I did no readings specifically with the Woodland Wardens. So for the Hush Tarot, I did one reading, the Mercury retrograde spread by AP_astrology. So for the first question or first position, the question is, where could I use the most clarity during the retrograde? And I got the Three of Cups. And then for the second position, what aids me in seeking that clarity? I got the Page of Swords. Then for how can the clarity help me? I got the Four of Swords. Then for the fourth position, what is one thing that I need to keep in mind? And I got the King of Swords. And then lastly, what awaits me on the other side of the retrograde? And I got the Justice card. So this reading was really about the mind. So a lot of mental things that needed to be tackled specifically, which I'm not surprised, honestly, because things have been pretty stressful for me recently, especially with work. So I'm not really surprised that the retrograde is really affecting like my mental capacities. So I'm not really surprised in that regard. So, but I did enjoy this reading very much. I actually really love the spread, to be honest with you. So I thought it was a good one. I would say that working with others was the focus. Really work was the focus for me in that regard. In terms of making sure that I'm not, being stuck in my ways. I'm able to, make changes in terms of my mental capabilities and make changes in regards to in my thinking, pretty much is what I got from this particular reading. And that's what really is affecting me, is the way I communicate with others and my thinking in that regard. So I need to change that, like my process and thinking in that regard for this particular spread, which I definitely enjoyed in that regard. So it was a really great spread, I think, and I think I got some good cards. So yeah. Then in regards to my moon readings, I use the Tarot de la Nuit by Alexandra V. Bach and Carole Ann Eshenazi, I think is how you pronounce her surname. I'm not sure. Apologies if it's wrong. This is a Lo Scarabeo publication. And originally I was supposed to use my Queen of the Moon Oracle, which is a Rockpool publication by Stacey DeMarco and Kinga Britchke, I believe is how you pronounce her surname. Again, really sorry, apologies for mispronunciation. But I decided to go with the Monology cards instead by Yasmin Bolland and Nyx Rowan. I felt the energy for the new moon and the full moon, this embodied it better. So that's what I did and what I use in this regard. This is a Hay House publication, and I absolutely love it. And yeah, so I did one reading for the new moon and one reading for the blood moon lunar eclipse in Scorpio. So the solar eclipse and the lunar eclipse, that's what I did readings on. Okay, so for the new moon reading, I did a new moon in Taurus. So I pulled the Moonology card for it, which is Prosperity Lies Ahead. Now, I pretty much interpreted this as that, you know, I have exactly what I want and what I need. I just need to be more confident in myself and my abilities is pretty much what I got from that card. Then I did the new moon in Taurus spread by Moon Mama Oracle. I'm not sure if it was a 3-card spread or if it was longer. I only did 3 of the questions if it was longer, because she tends to do like 6-card spreads, and sometimes I'm just not really in the mood for that. So pretty much the questions that I chose, whatever the spread was, because I don't remember now, was what stubborn thing am I holding on to? And I got the Page of Cups. She is beautiful, mermaid. And then the second one was, what should I be focusing on manifesting? And I got the Hierophant. Can you see that? Let's zoom out a bit. There we go. Okay. And then lastly, what possessive ideas are holding me back? And I got the 10 of Pentacles. She's also very beautiful, I have to say. Hopefully you can see her okay. Okay. So pretty much what I got with this is in regards to my goals and like creative endeavor. So pretty much the things that I've been working towards. I feel like this is what the reading was talking about pretty much. With this in particular, though, I felt like it was telling me that I was focusing too much on the future and that I should focus more on the present moment rather than diving too much on the future. And if you know the 10 of Pentacles, you know that it means literally laying a foundation for your future and like future inheritance and things like that. But it wanted me to move away from that. So I pretty much read it more in like the reverse, that I should focus more on the now than on the coming in that particular sense. Then for the blood moon lunar eclipse in Scorpio, I did a spread by the Witch of the Forest. And I pulled from the Moonology, I pulled the full moon in Scorpio and the full moon eclipse card. So I pulled these two, which are, it's time to release negativity and conclusions are within reach. Pretty much from these two cards, what I got is that, you know, I shouldn't spend any time on negative energy and that I should really try hard to really get out of that kind of mentality and kind of funk in that way. And that I should focus on really, you know, just focus on, you know, what's coming my way and be open to like the possibilities that may be coming to me in that regard. For this, there was one thing that I really liked from the book that I wrote down, like a quote, and it was, that which is meant for me will not pass me by. And I really enjoy that, so I wrote that in my tarot journal. So the spread was, what is it, 5 cards? Yeah, it's 5 positions. So the first question is, what is coming to an end? And I pulled the 5 of Wands. Then the next position was what must be left behind, and I pulled the Two of Swords. Then thirdly, what is emerging in your life, and I pulled the Seven of Wands. Then what needs to be transformed, and I pulled the Five of Cups. There you go, Five of Cups. She's also a beautiful mermaid, I do have to say. And in the fifth position, what is my new beginning? I pulled the Justice card. So this was pretty much the reading that I did for, the lunar eclipse in Scorpio, so the full moon in Scorpio. And the gist of this really was about working on myself, which makes sense, and focusing more on, balance and like my emotional energy and things like that. So I understood. I totally get it because there was a lot going on. So definitely understand where this reading is definitely coming from. And I thought it was a good reading, and it gave me a lot to think about in that kind of regard. So, yeah. Then the last two decks that I used for one particular spread were the Wild Unknown Pocket Edition and the Wild Unknown Archetypes Oracle, both by Kim Krans, both published by Harper One. And I absolutely love this deck so much, actually. It's such a beautiful, beautiful deck. Both of them are beautiful. I love them both. They are fantastic. So if you wanted to see some of the cards, I do have, a flip through of this on my channel. I'll leave it linked down below like usual. Love it very much. I use this primarily for shadow work. But yes, definitely interesting. So yes. Then of course the Pocket Edition. I do have this again on my channel as well. Comparison actually with the regular version, so you can see if there's any differences in like size and things like that. I love it because it's like fits in my hand. It's so cute. Okay, so the spread that I did was one that I'm actually going to talk about later on in the video, like because it was an actual video, but it's called the Emptiness Spread by Lunaria33. She's a YouTuber here on YouTube, obviously. And she did the spread with her deck. She has a tarot deck. And I don't have her tarot deck, but I really wanted to try her spread. So I ended up replacing the Emptiness card with this particular card from this deck called the Empty Room. And there's two positions. There's the first one, the cause of what your emptiness or what's feeding into your emptiness. And then the second position being the guidance on how you can start to feel whole again. And I absolutely loved it. I love this concept. Absolutely beautiful. I'll definitely go more into the video later, but this was an amazing spread. When I saw it, I was like, yes, I'm doing this right now. So with the Ten of Wands, this is really, about obviously having a lot on your shoulders, having a lot of burden, a lot of stress, being overwhelmed. And I definitely felt that this past week. Mainly because work was absolutely crazy and I was so stressed out and things like that. So definitely understand why I got this and why it has been making me feel empty in that regard. And then, we have the Two of Wands, making choices about the direction that you want to go in. And it's also about seeking balance, right? The twos are also about balance, duality, and things like that. So what I got from it in terms of guidance was really that I should be making the choice and seeking the direction that will actually move away from stress and being overwhelmed, and that I should seek more balance and do things that will allow me to be more balanced during times of challenges is really what I got from this reading. And I definitely love this reading so much. Absolutely amazing. Definitely recommend checking out the video. I will talk about it later and it will be posted in the description box below to check out. There's actually 3 spreads and they're all great, but this is the one that I did first. The other 2 I haven't done yet, but I'm hoping to do them in June. So yes, love this so much. Now we move into some new decks that entered my collection in the month of May. So the first deck was the Tarot de Carlotides. This is by Carlota Santos and is published by Fournier. And I picked this up. I had an issue with it and had to order another copy. It will be all in my unboxing. But I definitely love this so far. It's a beautiful deck, I do have to say. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous deck. I will have my unboxing sometime up and sometime in June, so definitely look out for that. Then we have the Celestial Tarot. This is by Kay Steventon and Brian Clark. This is a US Games publication. And again, it's a really beautiful deck. Absolutely love it. It's all about like celestial or astrological planetary type things. There's some what is it called? Not star signs, but constellations. That's it, constellations. There's like constellations in here and that they associate with every card and everything like that. It's really interesting, I have to say. Definitely something that I would need to deep dive, but I'm excited to use this as well. And then I got the Nicoletta Ciccoli Tarot. This is by Nicoletta Ciccoli and Lunea Weatherstone, I believe is the author. This is a Lo Scarabeo deck, and I'm very excited to get into this particular deck because it is definitely a strange one. I want to use it for inner child work. I think it would be a good fit for that. So I'm definitely excited to get into this particular deck further. Then the last new deck was an Oracle deck. It's The Universe Has Your Back by Gabrielle Bernstein. I'm not sure. Artwork by Michaela Ezra. This is a Hay House publication. And you would have seen this in my haul recently that I put up. If you haven't seen it, it will be linked above and in the description box. I did a haul from HomeSense. Again, if you're in the US, Home Goods, that's the equivalent. It's also the equivalent of Marshalls, TJ Maxx. Honestly, all these stores are owned by TJ Maxx. So TJ Maxx, Marshalls, Winners, Home Goods, HomeSense, they're all the same thing to me. Because they're all owned by TJ Maxx and they all do the same thing. So you might be able to get this, but I don't know. They change stock all the time, right? But definitely look it out. If not, Barnes & Nobles has it, Amazon has it, Chapters Indigo has it if you're in Canada. So you can find this really anywhere. It's definitely one of those popular affirmation type decks. So those were the new tarot decks that I brought into my collection recently and that I'm really excited about. A different type of divination tool that I wanted to talk about was these 2 new rune sets into my collection. So we have Elderfark rune set, hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly, and then a Witch's rune set. Now a friend of mine, she likes to create things like this for herself, and sometimes she'll create it for like friends and things. And she made me, you would have seen another set that she created for me when I unboxed my Rune Oracle Oracle deck. I showed a rune set in there. I will have that link down below. And this is just another set that she created for me, and it's absolutely beautiful. So this is more of a resin set. Hopefully I can focus this because it's going to be really hard. It's green. It has purple, like pen, shiny, whatever this is. I don't know what it is. I don't know what kind of tool she uses. I'm not very good with these kind of things, but some kind of metallic purple for the rune, and then we have some like flower chunky glitter in the back, which is so fun. So we have a bunch of these with the different runes and things. I absolutely love it. So this is a full set of those, like a regular rune set. Very hard to focus because they're so small. And there's glitter in it too. I love glitter. She knows me really well when it comes to the colors I like. So yes, and she also made the bags. They're so cute. They have little moths on them. And I love them so much. It's so cute with the little blue ribbon. And then this is a witch's rune set. And if you saw my plan with me, you'll see that I mentioned it in there. Just the fact that I was going to be using it in June. I started using it when I got it, but yes. So let's see if I can focus this. These are bigger, so hopefully they focus better. Look how beautiful it is. The little chunky flower glitter. Oh, I love it so much. Sun. We have the eye here. The eye. I have a blank one. I don't know what this one means. I'll figure it out. We have this one. Can't remember what this was. Circles or something. I'm still learning, guys. I'm still learning. This one was feminine or female or I don't know. Or woman or something like that. Star. Then this one was man or masculine. Right? I think so. Man, masculine, male, something like that. So yeah. And then the rest of them are in here. And then again, we have a bigger version. The same fabric. So pretty. Absolutely love it. So gorgeous. So yeah, it's really cute. I love it so much. And then I tie them to close them to make sure that they don't open and spill everywhere. But yes, I'm loving them so much. And I've been really enjoying pulling for the last few days one of these in my daily readings. And I have to say, this has probably encouraged me and really motivated me to get into my rune study, I have to say. It really has. I love this set so much. Absolutely love it. My friend did a great job with this, and she does a great job in general in making these kind of things. So yeah, she's amazing. And I wish she had a store or something. If she had one, I'd post down below, but she doesn't. So she doesn't really do these for people to buy or anything. But if she ever does, I'll definitely promote her because she definitely deserves the business. So yes, I just wanted to share this because I absolutely love it, and it was a gift, and I wanted to share it with everyone. Then we get into books. Okay, so I didn't actually finish any books, but I did make progress in this one, which I started last year or something, or started in the beginning of this year or something like that. But I've made some progress in this, and I've been definitely enjoying it, as you can see with the tabs. So this is the 78 Degrees of Wisdom, a tarot journey to self-awareness. This is by Rachel Pollock. It is published by Wiser Books. Sorry, you probably didn't even see that. Wiser Books. Wiser Books. There we go. So yes, you can see all the tabs that I have put on the book so far. I am currently at 78. I am with The Hermit currently. Ooh, that's not even focused. There we go. Okay, so yeah, I'm currently reading The Hermit. It's where I currently am. So I have done all of this so far. I have highlighted some things that I think are very interesting. Well, the first chapter is here. This is just the introduction. And I've really been enjoying it a lot so far. And I'm very excited. I am potentially thinking of, once I'm done this, making a series dedicated strictly to this book, because I think it would be really interesting to go through this chapter by chapter in video format. I think it would be really interesting to give my opinion. It would be like a review of the information. And yeah, something I'm thinking about, but I haven't finished the book, obviously. I'm not that far in it. I still have all this to go. So yes, but I just wanted to mention that I've really been enjoying this book so far. Very textbook-like, but I love that. As someone who has many textbooks and from university, I love that kind of structure. So I've definitely been enjoying this thus far. And now we get into some new books into my collection. Now, if you've seen my recent HomeSense haul, then you would have seen these. I go through them in depth in that video, so I'll definitely link it in the description box so you can check it out, because I'm not going to go through them in depth like I did in that video. Just really wanted to share. So I got the Astrology SOS, an Astrological Survival Guide to Life. This is by Woke Mystic. It is published by Hardy Grant Books. Never heard of them, so I don't know. But it's a very nice. Look at that edging. Focus, camera. Oh, beautiful. I think this is the only book I own that has edging. How lovely is that? Absolutely love it. And I just hit my camera. Apologies. Then we have Living Lunarly, a moon-based self-care for mind, body, and soul. This is by Lunarly with Kiki Eli. Not sure. I'm gonna assume Eli. If I mispronounce it, just let me know. Apologies if I did. It has very nice hollow on it, and I absolutely love it. It is fully in watercolor. Beautiful. Beautiful. This is by Rock Point, which is, I found surprising. Love it though. Absolutely beautiful. If you like working with the moon, definitely recommend this book. I have to say, this is the first book I've seen that literally covers every month and goes through several rituals for every single moon phase pretty much, and several things that you can do for the moon phases in a month, which I absolutely love. Then I got this Crystals book. It's Crystals, the Guide to Principles, Practices, and More. It's by Lauren De Silva. This is published by Octopus Books? Octopus Books, according to this. Never heard of them either, but yes. And it goes through several different things in regards to crystals. Honestly, I went through it in my video on Monday. Definitely check it out, the HomeSense haul. And I have to say, there's a lot of good information from what I can see so far in here. Then the last one was definitely a big plus into my collection. It was this book here, Tarot Connect with Yourself Deep, Develop Your Intuition and Live Mindfully by Tina Gong. This is a Labyrinthos book. So I'm really, really happy with this in my collection. Labyrinthos always has great information, and I definitely love them very much. They're one of my primary websites that I like to recommend if someone wants free resources. This is by DK Books. I do have this dream one that's pictured here. I still need to get the astrology one. But yes, this is definitely a beautiful book. There's some kind of silver gilding in some of the stars, so it kind of glitters, which is really pretty. So yes, I'm really happy with these new books that have entered my collection, I have to say. Now, lastly, I'm going to be talking about YouTube. So the first two videos that I want to talk about are actually a shout out to myself. So I recently posted my VRs to the 7 decks for Heavenly Virtues. This was a VR to Antonia's Bliss, and then the 7 decks for Deadly Sins, which was a VR to Sylvain's Deadly Sins. And I just wanted to shout out these two particular videos because I absolutely enjoyed making them so much. It was so fun to film. and choose decks from my collection that would fit those prompts. So I definitely suggest that you check them out. I will leave them linked in the description box below, but I did want to make mention of them because they were a highlight for me in terms of filming videos for my particular channel. So the first video that I watched in May that I really enjoyed was the Three Fat Readers. So if you don't know, Three Fat Readers is a collaborative channel here on YouTube. If you're not subscribed to them, I don't know where you've been all your life, but this is literally a collab channel between Lisa Pappas, Dustin from Modern Metaphysique, and Danny from Danny Mystic. And a month ago, they streamed one on Pip decks. I watched it in May because it's very hard for me to join live sometimes unless I actually schedule it in and make time for that particular live to watch it live or whatever. So a lot of the time I will just watch the replay for it. So this was one of them that I watched the replay for. And I watched it in the beginning of May and I absolutely love this. So I'm fine with Pip decks. Pip decks for me are completely fine. I love them. They talked about Marseille. They talked about decks that are just like non-illustrated or WS, things like that. And I'm actually okay with decks like this. I actually don't mind them whatsoever. I know that there's a lot of people out there that don't like Pip decks, which is totally fine. You do you. Your practice is your own. If that's not something, that is convenient for you or works for you or whatever it is, or that you're comfortable with, then that's perfectly okay, right? But for me in my practice, I have several Pip decks, and I actually don't mind them at all. And I love reading with them. And a few things that were talked about in that regard is reading in terms of numerology, and I found it really interesting. I don't typically read Pip decks with numerology. I just read them based on like RWS meanings, which is just the way I read. But I loved that when they were talking about that, I was like, ooh, and I do love numerology. I love numerology so much. So I was thinking, you know what? Maybe I'm going to start reading Pip decks numerologically instead of how I currently read, or maybe bring more of the numerology into my readings. And I thought that was very interesting, very insightful, very eye-opening for me. So I definitely wanted to mention this video because it's definitely a good one, especially if you're looking to get into Pip decks or get into Marseille, for example. I definitely suggest that you check it out. And of course, it'll be linked in the description box below for you to go watch. Now, the next video I want to talk about, love this video so much. It was the 3 tarot spreads for the Iris Tarot. This was a video by Lunaria33. She's another YouTuber. I did mention her this video earlier in the video in regards to that emptiness spread that I did. So this particular video she takes a look at or goes through 3 spreads that she created specifically for her tarot deck. So I will leave her video link down below. In her video description box, you will find all the links if you'd like to check out her tarot deck or website or whatever it may be. Definitely go for it. Her tarot deck is beautiful, and believe me, if I had money to just spend like that, I would definitely pick it up because I love it. And I actually watched the progress of her making her deck on her Instagram. Absolutely beautiful. But you can use her spreads with other decks. So if you don't own her deck, you can use her spreads with other decks. And that's what I did for the emptiness spread. But I did write down, if you go see, I did comment, and I left a huge comment and several other comments and all these things on, like, for me, like, as I was watching it, as I was watching the particular video. And then I went back, so I watched it through, definitely enjoyed the spreads, and I went back and I watched it again, and I took notes this time and wrote down the spreads. So the first spread she goes through is the Iris spread, and it's pretty much how she says it. I'm not going to go through it entirely, but pretty much you take out the Iris card that's in this particular deck. And for me, she says in her video that it represents internal, external views of yourself, your story, and the world around you. So for me, I thought the best fit for that would be the self card from the Wild Unknown Archetypes. And I think that's what I'm going to do when I do the spread specifically, but it's pretty much 10 cards, so you have 5 above and 5 below. So I really love that so above, so below type of aspect with the spread. I definitely like that. And then the cards below the iris card is supposed to represent what you need to work on, or something that you need help with in different areas. And she talks about the different areas that each card represent, and then the 5 cards above, is supposed to be the guidance for those pertaining cards below it. So it's definitely interesting. You can definitely check out the particular spread and what each card represents in her video. So that was the first one. The second one was the emptiness spread, which I did and showed earlier in the video. And I definitely enjoyed that. So she has a card in her deck called the Emptiness. And I replaced it with the Empty Room from the Wild Unknown Archetypes, which I thought it would fit the best in that particular sense of being empty or feeling empty. And then you have like the 2 other cards, one on either side of the emptiness card, to represent emptiness, and then to represent your guidance on how to get out of that emptiness feeling. And then the last spread that she talks about, I'm not going to pronounce it. I will write on the screen because it's in Spanish, and my Spanish, non-existent. My mom would be able to pronounce it, but me, no. It's pretty much the rainbow spread, so it's rainbow in Spanish, and I don't want to pronounce. I know I'm going to butcher it, so I'm not going to try. And I thought the aspect of this particular spread to be a genius. Okay, so her deck is colored, so each suit has a different color. So it makes sense that it would work well with her deck. But then I was thinking, what kind of deck can I use that is very color focused? And then I thought the Prism Oracle. It's like literally a color deck. So I'm going to use it with that, and I think it'll be really fun. So pretty much the aspect was, if you have, so you pull 5 cards, and depending on how much of one color or 2 colors are shown, those will be your focals, like your focal points, the things that you need to work on or work towards or things like that. And then the other cards would be your guidance for those focal points. So it makes sense. I definitely like that particular aspect. But if you get a rainbow effect where you get one color of each, like one color that's in your particular deck, whatever deck you're using, one color of each, then that's a rainbow effect. How cool is that? That's so cool. I definitely love that so much. It was so good. And then pretty much what she said is that you would read it as a whole for what you need to know. And I definitely enjoy that. Now, if you watch her video, she gives examples and shows how to read it and things like that. So definitely go check that out if you want to know more and this particular steps of what you're supposed to do and things like that, because it was great. Like, I love spreads, so I definitely enjoyed watching her video. So definitely check it out. Highly recommend. Then the next video I want to talk about is the top 10 curiosity decks. This is a tag created by Candy, Soul, and Soil. So I'm going to be filming a VR to this particular tag, and I'm really excited. So pretty much what this tag is supposed to be is that if you had a cabinet of curiosities, what decks would we find inside? And I think that's amazing. What an amazing tag, in my opinion. And I'm really excited because I have quite a number of decks that I would put in a cabinet of curiosities. Honestly, I have some weird decks. So I'm excited to do this tag and wanted to mention it in case someone else is interested in checking out the other videos in this tag or doing it themselves. you do YouTube, go. I would like to see too. So if you subscribe to me or I subscribe to you, I will definitely check that out because I have been watching some other videos that have done this particular tag. It's been absolutely great. Then the next video I would like to talk about is another tag. It's the tag by Lisa Papez on My Adorable Decks. Now, her video was a live stream. She showed her adorable decks. She created this tag. And I will link her original video down below, so you can definitely go check out the replay of her live. And, of course, her adorable decks, because if we all know Lisa is literally epitome of adorable decks. So, which is fantastic. I absolutely love it because I love adorable things myself. All things cuteness. Yes, yes, yes. So I will leave her original video down below so you can go watch it. It was really fun to watch. Did I watch her video live? I actually think I joined live for this one. So yes, which was great. But the video that I want to talk about is actually someone else's response to that tag, and I absolutely loved her response. So this My Adorable Decks video is by Exploring Tarot, and her name is Sandy, and she created her response VR to Lisa in response to My Adorable Decks, and I absolutely loved the options or the decks that she chose for this particular tag, because not all of them were in the sense of very cutesy, you know what I mean? Like, they were adorable in the way she believes adorable is, which I absolutely loved because I actually found all her options to be adorable. But a lot of people, they would take one look at some of her options and be like, I don't know. Like, that's not really adorable, but okay. You know what I mean? Like, the aspect of someone thinking something is adorable is really in the eye of the beholder. And that's why I loved her video so much, because it was really in her eye, what's adorable to her. And that's why I love the options that she chose. Like, for example, she chose a lot of animal decks, which, yes, thank you. I love animal decks. I find all animal decks adorable, so I definitely agree with those. But she chose like the Triomphe della Luna illustrated pips. Like, that's creepy, but it's also adorable. Like, it's funny adorable. It's creepy adorable. Like, I love it, and I loved that option. But I'm sure a lot of people who have done this tag, they wouldn't have put it in their adorable decks, I don't think. But yeah, she also put the Anna K tarot in her adorable decks, and sure, I love that. That's adorable. I definitely don't think that everyone would find that adorable, but I definitely agree with her picks, honestly, and I really wanted to mention it. Her video will be linked in the description box, so definitely go check it out, give her some love, subscribe to her channel, because honestly, that was a great video, and I definitely enjoyed it. Enjoyed that one in particular. So that was my May reflections, and I do thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments below what decks you were working with this month, or what you thought my selection, how it was. I did change things up since last month, so let me know in the comments how you liked that I show actual cards that I pulled in my actual readings, because that's something that I was thinking of doing more often now in my May reflections. So let me know how you like that change, and if it's something you would like me to keep doing. Also, what kind of books you read in the month of May. Love to hear from you. Anything new entered your collection, I'd love to hear from you as well. And again, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Turn on that bell so you can be notified every time I post a brand new video. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it's greatly appreciated. Thanks so much, and have a great day.